The earth silently tells an ancient story. Buried in tooth marks and stone tool scratches, are epics woven with blood and wisdom. In 2023, at Schoningen, Siegsdorf, a quiet archaeological site in Germany, a shocking prehistoric story was uncovered. Archaeologists found the partial skeletal remains of a cave lion. The cave lion is also known as the ice lion. It's long extinct today. The remains of this formidable beast have been dormant for almost 50,000 years. The sheer age isn't the whole story. What's truly shocking is that its bones bore marks of artificial cutting. And on its third rib, there was a deep puncture wound. This hole wasn't naturally formed, but was intentionally made. It almost perfectly matched the trajectory of a spear. We always thought Neanderthals mainly hunted herbivores like reindeer, horses, and bison. But this time we've learned they even dared to take on the cave lion. You should know that the cave lion was one of the strongest apex predators in history. Their ancestors originated in Africa and quickly spread across the entire Eurasian continent. During the Pleistocene era, they dominated the entire mammoth steppe. Some cave lions could reach 3 meters in length and weigh over 400 kilograms. They were a size bigger than any modern lion. They hunted horses, bison, and deer, and may have even preyed on humans. Such a terrifying predator couldn't escape the Neanderthal spear. In the past, we knew that modern humans had interactions with cave lions. They would depict lions in cave paintings. Although in the past, records of Neanderthal interaction with cave lions were scarce. In Germany, at an archaeological site in Siegsdorf, we finally found a breakthrough. In 2023, archaeologists here discovered a well-preserved partial cave lion skeleton. The age can be traced back to approximately 48,000 years ago, and this timing is crucial because Neanderthals were on the verge of being replaced by modern humans. The lion's remains belonged to an old male, and after a detailed forensic analysis, it was found that it did not die of natural causes, but was killed and butchered by Neanderthals. The most startling detail is the puncture wound on its third rib. The wound is very deep, with radial fractures and crushed bone fragments. This is clearly not from an animal's teeth. Nor from smashing the bone to extract marrow. Instead, it's the result of a precise stab from a weapon. There are no signs of healing, which indicates this blow was not disabling, but fatal. After reconstruction and experimental comparison, researchers concluded that this cave lion was likely pierced by a Neanderthal using a wooden spear. And it wasn't thrown, but stabbed directly at close range. Judging from the angle and depth, the lion was likely on the ground, possibly injured, which allowed the Neanderthal to seize the opportunity and stab it in the abdomen. The weakened state let the Neanderthal stab it in the abdomen to deliver the fatal blow. Imagine for a moment, at that moment, a Neanderthal stood alone in the cold, silent Pleistocene wilderness, facing a fallen but still dangerous cave lion. It wasn't in a cage. It wasn't in a nature documentary. It was truly there. Its muscles clearly defined, with no trace of pity in its golden eyes. Only savage instinct remained. He had no gun. He had no armor. He had no technological advantage. Only a spear imbued with the will of fire, and trembling but resolute muscles and nerves. In that single moment, the boundary between life and silence was entirely in his hands. We can't know what the Neanderthal felt at that moment, but we can stand where he once stood. The bones of that cave lion still exist today. We can touch and study them. The rib pierced by the spear is still there. And it is these remains that let us realize history is not just a grand narrative, but is composed of real people and crucial individual moments. You can imagine a Neanderthal hunter with a strong build, skilled at ambush. In their time, armed with wooden spears, they were the ultimate predators. Even so, just holding such a weapon and imagining facing a beast is still chilling. That wasn't a training ground. There was no second chance. A slip-up meant being dragged into the lion's jaws. But the question is, why risk their lives to hunt a lion? We'll never know their true motivation. But we can find some clues from how modern humans interact with large felines. The simplest explanation is that the lion was old and injured. The Neanderthals stumbled upon it, and killed it for food. It's also possible the lion was a threat to them, a competitor. Like the Champawat tiger that once terrorized Nepal. In the early 20th century, it killed over 436 people. Researchers believe the tiger's canine tooth was broken, which prevented it from hunting agile prey, and eventually turned its focus to humans. Perhaps this cave lion also became aggressive with age and posed a threat to humans. It was then killed by Neanderthals for defensive or retaliatory reasons. This is a reasonable and fascinating hypothesis. And when modern humans, our ancestors, set foot in Europe and gradually replaced the Neanderthals, the perception of lions also changed. The lion was no longer just a predator. It became a symbol. In the Chauvet cave, dating back over 30,000 years, archaeologists found numerous cave paintings of lions. They weren't mere doodles, but group depictions of lions with great anatomical detail. Some looked like they were hunting, some seemed to be dancing, and some were even shown being pierced by spears. Are these images a vision of the future? A memory of the past? Or a more abstract myth? One of the most stunning discoveries is the Lion Man figurine from the Hollensteinstadel cave in Germany. It is considered one of the oldest statues in the world. It dates back 35,000 to 41,000 years. It was carved from a mammoth tusk. The statue is 31 centimeters tall. Its curves perfectly match the shape of the tusk itself. Just to create it required over 370 hours of meticulous sanding and carving. This is not only representative of early art, but also a projection of the ancient spiritual world. They began to create myths and to imagine a human-animal hybrid existence. What exactly does the Lion Man figure represent? A shaman wearing a lion skin? A lion god? Or something else we can't understand? We have no way of knowing, but we can at least be certain that the lion held an extremely important symbolic meaning to ancient people. In contrast, the records of early Neanderthal interaction with lions are much more ambiguous. It was mainly about survival. But in the era dominated by Homo sapiens *, this relationship began to change. Humans were not just hunters, but began to assign symbolic meaning to animals. The lion transformed from a real-world threat into a cultural and spiritual symbol. Looking across global human cultures, the lion has never been just prey. It is a totem, a deity and embodiment of inner strength. In the Maasai tribe of East Africa, lion hunting was once seen as a rite of passage into manhood. Young warriors hunted lions not for food, nor for competition, but for honor and recognition of status. Successfully killing a lion meant you possessed courage, maturity, and the ability to protect the tribe. It was a formal initiation ceremony, and the ritual itself was highly ritualistic and structured. Warriors would often wear lion manes and adorn themselves with ornaments made of lion claws. This wasn't just a trophy, but a symbol of honored status, like a medal of honor. In sharp contrast to this is the San tribe in southern Africa. They developed a different wisdom for coexisting with lions. A strategy when a pride of lions catches large prey. The San people don't confront them directly. Instead, they wait quietly. After the lions are full, bellies bloated, and their alertness drops, they quickly approach, drive the lions away, cut off some of the meat, and quietly withdraw. This act relies not on brute force, but on calm judgment and precise timing, and a deep understanding of lion behavior and habits. These two distinctly different strategies illustrate the complex and diverse relationship between humans and apex predators. One is symbolic and direct confrontation. The other is a contest of wisdom and opportunism. But no matter which one, the underlying reason is not just survival. It also concerns status, risk, social significance, and even the negotiation of territorial rights. Looking back at prehistoric archaeological records, we can see that modern humans in the Upper Paleolithic already had a complex and deep relationship with lions, and Neanderthals were likely no exception. For instance, at the Einhorn site in central Germany, an older set of evidence was unearthed. This site dates back 190,000 years. In the layers of remains found in the cave, there are clear marks indicating that someone separated the lion's claws from its toes. This suggests that when processing the lion hide, the claws were deliberately preserved. This could mean that, for the Neanderthals, the significance of the lion hide went far beyond its practical use. In later modern human cultures, claws and fur were often used to demonstrate personal status or social identity. For example, in the Roman army, standard bearers often wore lion skins, symbolizing their authority as masters of the beasts. It's like saying, "Look, I wear the skin of the strongest predator. Naturally, I am the strongest too." In the Neanderthal era, successfully hunting a lion was an incredible feat in itself. A lion hide that retained its complete claws was an extremely rare and brilliant symbol. This was no longer just a source of food, but a symbol of status, a public display of a warrior's identity. In recent years, more and more evidence suggests that Neanderthals, long before modern humans appeared, already knew how to make personal ornaments. They would make necklaces from eagle talons, collect shells and fossils in caves, and even use pigments to decorate themselves. You might think that the ancients giving symbolic meaning to claws, teeth, or fur is a bit irrational. But consider this: modern people spend large amounts of money and time pursuing limited edition bags, luxury cars, and jewelry. It's essentially the same thing. Imagine this scene: a mature Neanderthal male walking across the vast plains and encountering another tribe. He has a complete lion hide drape over his shoulders. A necklace woven from claws hangs on his chest. He doesn't need to say a word for the other party to understand that he is a hunter not to be underestimated. His very presence is a story. So when we say Neanderthals hunted the cave lion and put on its fur, the significance is extraordinary. This not only reshapes our impression of them. They weren't merely hunters of docile prey, our human cousins, but rather apex hunters, one of the predators on this planet. Think about what it takes to hunt a lion. Planning, collaboration, and most importantly, courage. These are exactly what we define today as core human qualities: the ability to imagine the outcome, weigh the risks, and actively choose to take a risk. The preserved claws on the cave lion's fur, probably, were a powerful social signal in their culture. And all of this ultimately leaves us with one picture: an enraged cave lion cornered, roaring, preparing for a final stand, and facing it is a Neanderthal holding a wooden spear with a burning gaze. That moment wasn't just a hunt. It was a challenge, a declaration of a species stepping into a new role. They no longer submitted to nature, but became challengers of the rules. We humans are their descendants. And we are only just beginning to understand their true complexity and greatness.